How's it going, everybody? So we're in Mark 12:40 through chapter 13, verse 4. And then we are Daniel 11:40 through 45. We close out Daniel 11. Finally, King of the North, King of the South. And let's get on with it, shall we? Which devour widows' houses, and for pretense make long prayers, these shall receive greater damnation. Again, with these hypocrites, scribes, and Pharisees, Jesus was not happy with the church people, the synagogue leaders, the church leaders that claimed his father's religion. Again, Jesus was not after the pagans, and the pagans weren't after Jesus. Jesus was after the fake church, and the fake church killed him. Fascinating. And Jesus sat over against the treasury and beheld how the people cast money into the treasury, and how many that were rich cast in much. And there came a certain poor widow, and she threw 2 mites, which make a farthing. So just a little bit of money. And he called on his disciples and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that this poor widow has put more in than all which have cast into the treasury, because she was giving more of a percentage. That's what the Lord was saying. For they all did cast in their abundance, but she of her did cast in all that she had, even all her living. Interesting. Who's doing that today? Well, not I. We don't go homeless today, but this was a different time and a different situation, but I think we get the point. And again, feeding the poor, taking care of the poor. A lot of the commandments, I'm not going to say 100% of them, but most of the commandments were sheep to sheep, like visiting the sheep in jail. We covered that when he said, you didn't visit me in jail. Well, Jesus being a sheep or being the church, did you visit the church that's in jail? In other words, true members of the church who are locked up because of their beliefs. And so it says here, well reported of for good works, if she brought up children, if she had lodged strangers, if she has washed the feet of saints or washed the saints' feet. That's not washing everybody's feet. And when it's strangers, would that not be in the same context? Church members she didn't know. And when she's bringing up children, is she bringing them up in the church? Anyway, so he went out of the temple, and one of his disciples said unto him, Master, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here. Oh, what are we getting into? Mark 13. So we're getting into the end times, the Olivet Discourse. And Jesus answering and said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And of course, the church, the synagogues, was thrown down at 70 AD. So he's talking about that, but also at this place, at the end times, it'll be happening again. And he's going to now get into the end times. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives and against the temple. Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, Tell us when these things shall be, And Jesus is going to morph into the end times as if he wasn't already in some manner, even though he was also paralleling 70 AD's destruction of the church. Tell us when these things shall be, and what shall be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled. So, in asking that, fulfilled, that is moving Jesus into an end times prophecy. Speaking of the end times prophet, let's move on to Daniel, close out 11. And at that time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But he shall escape out of his hand, even Edom, Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and of the land of Egypt shall he not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver, and over precious things of Egypt. And the Libyans and Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. I'm assuming that's the Antichrist. All right, folks. We'll start Daniel 12 tomorrow. Good Lord willing. I'm glad you're here. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.